it's the word consistency that brings it to me.
And the thing is, he's always looking for the new innovative things that he can bring to that battlefield. Whenever there's any little tweaks and changes to any sort of assassin, he's going to be grinding rank dozens, hundreds of games on that one specific god for like maybe just to find out the perfect jungle pattern for his first 3 levels. And that kind of consistency and commitment is what allows him and eUnited to be so successful.
Athena going to be the first ban here for the Juggernauts. Overall, Titan has a ban as well. Curious to see where they go.
They've actually got 2 bans. Then they'll pick 3 gods, and then they'll have 2 more.
Well, they're going to ban out Freya starting right here. Titan is going to be banned out. Freya going to be banned out here. I'm not going to say Bean Burrito this time.
You just said it.
Foiled again.
I do feel like Robin, that's the right ban there for Juggernauts.
Oh, yeah.
You could first pick it for yourself, but I think they'll try and get Baron. Titan won't let them have it, despite Benji not having the biggest performance on the Baron. Certainly still did quite a bit in those team fights, but still, I don't think was utilizing Baron to what we can see in the future.
That's a little bit scary, seeing Scream get Naja. That alone might be the nail in the coffin, guys. I think that just letting Scream get Naja could just be the game.
It's very possible. We talked about how Naja needs to get off to a great early game start. In the competitive scene, it's very easy to do so and difficult to shut him down. But the game that Baskin was playing, the Naja, didn't have the most success, unfortunately. Couldn't really manage his mana very well. There were certain games that he didn't have the mana that he needed to. But Scream is more of a traditional jungler than Baskin. And I think in the proper hands, Naja should truly shine.
Arkkyl did a lot of work in that last game. I think Arkkyl was possibly the reason we're seeing a game 5 here. The Titan defense, the first Titan defense where everybody went nuts, you know the one I'm talking about? I'm pretty sure that was just team commitment there. But Arkkyl was a huge part of that game, and I think if his team finds a win here, he's going to, again, be a huge part of the game.
I do think that getting him off Chernobog was critical because he was really giving Funball a lot of problems with that pick. So as scary as it is to see Scream get Naja, I think Chernobog and Thoth on the other side is basically just as scary now for Titan.
I think Thoth is the really highlight of the scary talking point. I think Zyrhoes specifically is going to be able to run away with this pick. I think that the longer range artillery alongside the global pressure from Chernobog, it's difficult to really shut them down because of how much escape they have.
Ram seems to be the counter to Chernobog. We discussed it on air, kind of like figuring it out and watching the players pick it. This seems to be the go-to.
I don't know, but it didn't work for Funball, did it? Because as soon as he would roll away from Chernobog Living Nightmare, you just bounce yourself off the wall and you're right on top of him again. And if he starts to ult, that guarantees your combo. If you're really looking for something that can get away from Chernobog, I think Jingwei is the obvious choice. I mean, that is one that can create way more distance than Chernobog can really chase down. Yeah,
but that's not Funballer style at all. He's never going to be playing that. He wants to get into the action, but this game, he'll be playing the Chernobog himself. He's going to be looking for the action. We'll see how Arkkyl adapts.
Yeah, I mean, Funball has always just been like a blind boxer. He'll fight anyone and anything, no matter what. So Ram certainly fits that bill. Terra going to be teamed up with Naja and Ram. Jeff will be taken off of the Earth Mother. Serqet, though, jungle of choice for Team Titan.
Interesting that they'll go back to that after how poorly last game went for Baskin with this selection. Now he's up against an even better early game bully than the Hun Batz. I think that's a concern now. I mean, Scream was level 17 when Baskin was sitting at 13.
The problem was the last game, Hun Batz has a lot of AoE CC, so it's easy to disrupt the flow from Serqet. I think it'll be easier to try to go against the individual CC that Naja provides, especially once you get that Mad Guy's Cloak. You can rest easy that the Naja Sash into Ringfire Wheel is not going to make its impact every single encounter.
I mean, the ability to shut down Deathbane is really, really valuable, and that's pretty much what you can expect out of the Naja, the ability to kind of sash in the middle of Deathbane, even ult, right?
Or the ambush, too.
Yeah, so certainly a lot of catch-up mechanics for Naja to be taking advantage of in this matchup, but we'll see how it works out on the battlefield. Second round of bans coming out. No Giannis, no Raijin, says Titan. Juggernauts thinking about their second one. Variety having a ball there after banning out JeffHindla's Sylvanas.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Discordia at all in this best of 5. It's something that's maybe forgotten a little bit of. The passive is really good for the side lanes to get that edge, but in the world of Thoths, Giannis's, even some Freyas here and there. I think that Discordia might get some more playtime with these newer bands.
I think it could be really good with Naja. I mean, he's already getting 20 free power right in the early game because of the passive right now before the balance change coming in 5.15, I believe. So you really can take advantage of that, add in that extra Discordia passive power. Could really make that. It's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, but it's a basket that is pretty good. It's a pretty good basket. It's got like little streamers on it. It's nice.
What is it? What color is the basket?
White.
Is it a white basket with streamers?
Yeah, they're like I'm thinking like Easter basket kind of look right here.
I'm thinking picnic basket.
Sorry about that. That it is not a picnic basket.
It's not a picnic basket.
No.
Hey, boo boo.
No.
You want a picnic basket?
I've already said I don't.
Cerberus. Oh God, I hope they pick RDO. I hope they pick RDO. I will do the Yogi Bear all day.
I don't think RDO needs to be picked for you to do that. You're just going to do it whenever
as if that you needed an excuse, clearly, in order to get that going.
Production's asking me right now if the real Yogi Bear is here.
Yeah.
This is the worst bit. Actually, no. ASMR was the worst bit. Don't start. That is the second worst bit. With the are they here? Is this them? That's not me. I'm not making that sound.
It's not me, dude. Is that Yogi Bear?
Not me. It's about to be not me on this desk if this continues.
Well, Kuzenbo coming through the final selection.
Wow, they picked that?
In the final. Yeah, look at Benji's face.
I was wondering why they were first pick, right? Yeah, they were first pick in game number 4. Yeah. And the success of Titan in games 1 and 2 was because they were second pick, because they had the counter pick matchup. Finally, yet again, they relived this, but this time Kuzenbo, not too bad.
So, I mean, you've got the Rom, the Soul. Anytime I see double Hunter or double basic attack characters, right, I start thinking in the Kuzenbo direction. And late game, Naja really starts using the basic attacks, the part of his arsenal, really, really heavily. And so, yeah, you're not going to sash into a Kuzenbo with his thorns up. But if you're boxing and just fighting the team fight and then slam down on a Thorns Kuzenbo with your final hit?
Yikes.
Could be pretty big. You can also, I believe, activate Shell Spikes up in Naja Ultimate because you can use that while you're CC'd. So that could be, I mean, if it's a one health sort of kill or be killed sort of situation, maybe there. I don't know, but I don't think I would have given Naja a free ring bounce target every fight with a Nene Kappa. That seems a little sketch.
That is true.
Yeah, I agree with you there. You don't want to give multiple targets there, but I think more importantly is the amount of control that they have. The magical damage from the Cerberus, you add that to the Thoth and the Kuzenbo. Normally you don't think of Kuzenbo damage because it's mostly reflect, but if you can sumo slam anybody in like 2 or 3 different hits on top of the breath from the Cerberus, then that should be enough to find the kills.
I'm looking at Juggernauts. Basically, this game is up to the Juggernauts to win. Right? They've got Naja, they've got the setup to win the game, and it's Titan's job to sort of poke holes in that strategy. There's very clear. Juggernauts are going to have the ball. Can Titan knock it out of their hands? One-word predictions, boys. Aggro, you first.
Juggernauts.
Titan.
Oh, wow. We're 50-50 here. Let's go to the 100% duo, Finch and Taco.
Game 5 here is underway. Juggernauts and Titan to the eUnited Invitational. One of them's going to go home a champion. The other one's just going to go home, Taco. We're about to find out who now is. Juggernauts are going to ride in on their double basic attack composition here with Hurriwind on the Soul and Arkkyl on the Ram. Is that going to be enough to get it done?
Can you still technically be first place if you're the first runner-up?
What?
Second place.
Minions have
They're both still technically coming in first.
What?
Or we can at least use words to pretend that it's that way.
Yes. Yes. I agree with that. I agree that we can pretend that the team that loses here is first in some way.
They're the first runner-up.
They're the first losers, yes.
The first runner-up.
The first runner-up.
And they're still the first at that.
So
they're in first.
Yeah, no one else came second before they did. Right? They came second
No, but
first.
a couple people did come third and fourth.
Before them. So someone else was first to third and fourth. Yes. I'm with you on that. 64% of chat are with the Titans. They've been getting a lot of the fan support, and JeffHindla could use some fan support as Arkkyl gets quite a few auto attacks into him. Funballer as well. They need to fall back, especially with the minion weight to deal with. This Rom Terra pressure is going to net them a purple buff invade, or at least an attempt, as Titans can't really defend, but JeffHindla's going to try.
Jeff put up a good attempt, but it wasn't enough in the end. PolarBearMike and Arkkyl going to successfully manage to invade Titan's purple buff, and I feel like this has just been a rinse and repeat occurrence, Finch, for the past 3 games now.
This duo lane has definitely been, there's been plenty of action here between these two. They've been unafraid to fight. There's been, you know, blood in both directions, and very nearly was able to get that push off. But yeah, we might as well, since we're over here. Benji on this Kuzenbo might have to hold that thought as Scream and Hurriwind catch out Baskin here in the jungle. He takes a good bit of poke, but he seems undeterred. He's going to come right back in. Zyrhoes off the mark with the evade and punish, and Scream should be fine.
This can be a pretty rough matchup for the Serqet, and it works the same way. Serqet and the Ja both have the power to 1v1 the other. It kind of just all depends on who connects first with Cobra's Kiss. And speaking of connections, Zyrhoes just barely getting that evade and punish off in time to avoid the follow-up in hand from Hurriwind that probably would have killed him.
You know how your screen can kind of tint a little bit like you're about to die? Like, oh man, no, that's what Zyrhoes does now. He's very, very close. He makes it out though, but Baskin might actually just die. Ambush does get him right back out of there, but Scream on the Naja, they love to fight around those camps where they get those nice ring bounces.
Not often that you see a Serqet also not electing to pick up that Cobra's Kiss and going straight for the ambush. Seems that Baskin has some concerns over getting caught out by Scream's Naja, and he's giving respect where it's due by making sure he has his survivability as his primary motive.
Looks like no blink this time. Though he's not up against the Fear No Evil from Lean Bots, which is what was so oppressive for it, but Baskin is definitely making some different choices in this one because I think he kind of has to. In games 3 and 4, I really feel like one of the big difference makers has been that they haven't gotten as much impact from Baskin on the Naja or in game 4 there as well. So they've got to make sure that here on this Serqet, he's feeling comfortable. He can get the most impact he can, particularly maybe by trying to come help out here because there's some aggression into their jungle. PolarBearMike is pushing forward and looks like they were able to successfully strip it away.
PBM and Arkkyl now sitting at level 4, and they are indefinitely probably going to be hitting 5 before Jeff and Funballer. So what Titans duo lane needs to be careful of now is that they just don't get caught out by the Earth and Fury, because Earth and Fury combined with that Astral Barrage can deal a lot more damage than what you're originally bargaining for.
Oh, absolutely. It could be used to very quickly bring down Funballer and JeffHindla, just if they're not careful. They've got to make sure they're minding their positioning. But I was going to ask you a little bit about Benji over here on this Kuzenbo in the solo lane earlier on. We got distracted by the action in the middle lane. You heard them talking a little bit about how this is into the double basic attack comp and could even hurt Naja some. Is that what this is about with Benji here?
Honestly, my favorite part, Finch, is that we panned over to solo lane and you're talking about Benji and he says, hey.
he knew I was on my way.
He knew you were talking about him, but I'm going to have to answer that in a second, Finch, because right now Jeff's taking a little trip into the sky with that Windfire and Wheels from Scream. This could possibly be the first blood. Ring Toss is going to connect, and that's definitely a dead JeffHindla.
That ring bounce was pretty nutty there, and that's going to net first blood over to Juggernauts, in particular onto Scream in the jungle, having a nice game already on the Naja. We've talked about it. Naja feels so strong right now, and Scream showing you why with some early rotations already has Titans on the back foot.
That ring toss, it's so satisfying listening to all those pings, especially when the targets are like close together, because Titans just couldn't spread apart from each other fast enough. Funballer did his best to get away from Jeff and create some space, but it's just too little too late.
It looks like Scream wants a little bit more this time from Benji. Variety right here, and lands the pluck. Looks like the rebounce was not there. Sash locks him down for a moment, but still has that watery grave, so he should be A-okay. Baskin, in fact, coming over to try and get a little bit of revenge. Tail Whip creates a little bit of space for them. No ultimates available. In fact, Baskin ends up hitting a creep with it. That's so unfortunate. Even throws it away from the rest of the team. And now Sash lands onto Benji. This fight in the duo lane heavily favoring Juggernauts. Or solo lane, rather. I'm just saying duo because it's 2-on-2.
The worst part about it all, though, is Benji knowing he's going to end up losing this blue buff because there's no one to protect it. Even PolarBearMike rotating all the way over from duo into solo, understanding fully that Benji and Baskin, when they're forced to back, the entire map is just exposed over there.
Scream now looking for JeffHindla. Remember, this is his original target. He caught him over on the duo lane, but This time, JeffHindla should be fine, able to jump right on out of there, Taco, and go about his merry business.
And I finally want to take this chance to talk a little bit about Benji on this Kuzmo pick, because it seems like a little bit of an oddball choice. Speaking of oddball, right up into the air again, there goes Baskin.
No one wants to hear your thoughts on Kuzmo, Taco, not when PolarBearMike is getting a kill. He's in a little bit of trouble, though. Final Judgment smacks him right in the face, and Funballer puts in the last bit of damage they needed, but Scream is right here to finish it off. In fact, a double kill for the jungler for Juggernauts as he finds JeffHindla and Funball and sends them both back to base.
Scream has been on fire for the past 2 games.
Fuego.
And I don't think he has any intentions of burning out anytime soon, because this Ninja gameplay is exactly what Juggernauts need to happen. Thank you, by the way. I didn't want to seem like, you know, a complete jerk, like I'm just egoing you. Like, I know I'm good.
That seems like the kind of move I could see you making. You'd be like, I know already. I could definitely see that.
No, that's something aggression would do.
Right, that guy, man. I'm glad he's out of here.
Sick player. Never missed a skill shot in his entire play time.
That's why he's such a jerk. He put all his points into being sick at the game and no points into being a person.
A person.
Yeah.
It happens.
Unfortunate. Sometimes you got to make that trade-off. And aggression, he made that trade-off. Shooting sleeve, headband, it's all there for him. But
the compression sleeve is probably the best part.
I think that's what really separates him.
It completes the look.
And I'm starting to think Scream might have put one on. Can we get a camera on his arm? Because Scream is playing this game on another level. He's got the Jotun's Wrath in there too for some cooldown, some pen. I mean, he's gonna keep it going.
Can you imagine if Scream was wearing a sweatband right now?
I would love that.
Ooh, speaking of which, Scream taking Baskin up on a trip straight to the sky, exactly where he's probably pretty tired of seeing.
And just as PolarBearMike is used to, getting a kill served up by Scream. Just kidding, PolarBearMike does plenty of work on his own, but in this case, it's definitely Scream getting it done. 3-0-2. Part of all the kills, but really so is PolarBearMike. He's been right there with him for all 5 as well. These two teammates, of course, showing some synergy here early on in this game. 8 minutes in, they have actually a substantial lead. Can we see the charts, actually? They're up almost 3,000 gold, 3,000 experience. 8 minutes in, that's a lot.
I brought it up earlier in one of the earlier matches, Finch, but it does seem like Titans just starting to feel the brakes being put on right now. It's been a little bit heavy. That's what their gameplay has felt like. It's just felt
like
heavy,
sluggish,
a little bit sloppy, and I know that this isn't, you know, everybody playing in their traditional roles, but these are still pros, and they are still way more capable than what you would believe. And Benji, unfortunately, seems like he's going to be taking a little spill here from that lurking in the water.
There's too much water, really.
He drowned.
Yeah, he likes
some
some
water. Can a turtle
water.
drown?
I suppose so. You know what? I bet what happened is some of the water from the lurking in the water is mixed in with the water on his head, and that's not a good. That's not good. That's no good.
Unfortunate. Baskin on the escape. Deathbane gonna get him out of there, but that doesn't mean he's safe by any stretch of the imagination. Same could be said for this T1 tower, and Scream, like so many times before this match already, making quick work of Baskin's back harpies. He has had solid control over that jungle for some time now.
This is a real problem for Titans, just how quick of a start that Scream has been able to have, and Baskin hasn't really been able to find a way to respond to it. It's tough. You can't ask just Baskin to respond to a Naja who's all over the map this way, but he certainly needs to be having some impact of his own to try and match it. But right now, I mean, 4-0-2, looks like he's working on the Magai's cloak to make him that much harder to shut down. Scream feels like he's on a runaway track right now.
You don't have to ask anything of Baskin. You just demand it. You tell him what you want, because he must obey as your jungler. Just like that. Zyrhoes, I want to kill. Baskin, make it happen.
Baskin almost gets away, but jumps over the wall, ends up falling. Scream does get the return, but that's what we were asking for. I like the aggression onto Hurriwind, throwing him right into Zyrhoes, who was there to follow up with the final judgment. Just a little bit more of that, and they might be able to keep even, but unfortunately, Scream was waiting to get the return kill. It went onto possibly the worst possible target.
Scream has 100% kill participation. If he's not getting the final blow himself, he's helping to make sure it happens. 5-0-2 so far already on the Ninja, but more importantly, with a 3-level lead over Baskin Serqet, I think that it's starting to show just a little bit here, Finch, what it means to see a true SPL jungler at work here. Because Baskin, for as fantastic as he is, and as great of a job I think he's done at pretty much substituting for this role he's not actually a main player of.
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do against Scream.
Yeah, there's very few people who play jungle at the SPL on a daily basis, I would ask, to try and outplay Scream. So it's definitely a tough task to try and ask it of Baskin here, but it's what they need if they want to win this tournament. It's the role that has been given to him, and a role he has to try and fill as PolarBearMike catches quite a few hands. Hurriwind drops the Supernova for the follow-up, and PolarBearMike has the Earth and Fury of his own. Scream goes back in, but can't find anyone to take up into the air. The ring bounce bounces through everybody, and the Stellar Burst is there as well, but they can't quite find a kill. Variety's on the backside. No charge prey for him either.
Kind of forgot he was there for a second. Showed up a little bit late to the party, but still trying to make some waves happen. All the while, Arkkyl left by himself in duo. This should spell the end of the T1 tower here, because even if Baskin tries to contest, he'll probably end up just dying.
Level 12 now for Arkkyl on the Ram, and he has not even rotated that much. Once he's in these fights, things are going to be even worse. That's pretty good for a Hunter to be level 13. He's the highest in the game. That doesn't happen that often, but PolarBearMike's been able to leave him to his own devices, I feel like, Taco, and now Arkyl's in a great spot.
But just look at Funballer stuck at level 10. There's just such huge level gaps between a lot of the carries here on both sides, and it's not in Titan's favor in the slightest. Juggernauts just profiting so heavily off of pretty much standing in the right places at the right time.
It's been working to their benefit so far as Variety comes back over to the solo lane. He is a little bit behind Benji in terms of experience, but the whole rest of the team is doing so well that even if Variety is just a little bit behind, it's no big deal. I mean, take a look at these charts. 5,000 gold out in front, 4,600 experience. Juggernauts have been moving at a steady clip up all game long. We're only at 13 minutes in. They were up 3,000 at 8 minutes into the game. It's just been a steady climb for them, and Titans haven't really been able to find anywhere to sort of relieve the pressure that Juggernauts have been creating so far. But there's no Gold Fury to worry about for a little while. You know, they've got a little bit of time to breathe.
A little bit of time to breathe doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting full breaths of air, though, Finch, because it just feels like Titans are being drowned in pressure right now. And it's only going to keep up. Variety forcing out Zyrhoes' purification beads, and now JeffHindla under fire, unable to jump away immediately. That could spell the end of him.
PolarBearMike goes in to drop the Earth and Fury, and ends up being very low. Both supports are going to trade out here, but advantage Juggernauts as they find Baskin on the back end. Now with Soul, they want to grab the tier 1, but Funballer rotates in on the Chernobog, ready to defend. It's 4v3, and Juggernauts look like they're ready to try and force this one down. Now they move in, but not really going to have much opportunity.
Hurriwind went into that Disapparate just to buy himself a little bit of time away from Benji. He had that heat fully charged, just like Arkkyl loses the Aegis to Zyrhoes' final judgment, but that's all they were really scared of. Scream managed to collapse around the backside, and Funballer's his target.
Unfortunately for Funballer, there really wasn't much he could do. Gets caught out, I think, a little bit by surprise by Scream making that rotation, and Juggernauts grab the tier 1. Benji gets a great pluck. I don't know if Arkkyl was expecting that to land because he wasn't there to follow up. Now Variety's been left in a bit of an island, perhaps punished for making a nice play. A slight communication gap there, but overall, that's fine. I mean, Juggernauts are looking very good right now.
Baskin managed to find Arkyl's purification beads also on the return, but at level 11, this Serqet doesn't have blink still, and you can tell that Baskin's hurting just a little bit. He wants to go in and commit for a kill, but it's just so hard to accomplish when you don't have an easy way to actually work into the backline. If he jumps in with the ambush, he just gets crowd controlled and dies. If he tries to deathbane through, then you lose a significant part of your damage that you're probably going to require to find a kill in the first place.
The troubles are there for Baskin, but they might be here for Benji as well, as PolarBearMike and Scream found him around the blue buff. Baskin here in support. That does not deter Scream. Cobra's kissed both off the mark, but Sash is not. Holding on the Windfire wheels for now, but PolarBearMike dashes in aggressively to land the stun into Zyrhoes. Now Scream coming into the picture, but at 4 members of Titans, that's enough to deter them. But Funballer cannot take this boxing match. Arkkyl wins the 1v1.
Funballer just a little bit too far behind now. Arkkyl already has an Ikavol online, starting to work his way into the Executioner. Originally, I think that most people would agree Funballer probably hands that one to Arkkyl, but 3 levels behind. All this gold that's been provided to Arkkyl because of his team working so efficiently together that they just have the lead.
And unfortunately, Funballer, if he wants to find farm, he might have to come out that far. Arkyl's done a great job of trying to force the hand of Funballer, and now they might be able to force down this tier 2 as well. There's not really anybody around, and they have, of course, the double basic attackers to shred through it quite quickly. Tier 2 tower comes down. Benji should be able to respond with a tier 1 in solo, but now the rest of Juggernauts positioning like they want this Gold Fury. Baskin's here to give them vision for it, so they'll at least know it's happening.
Titans have that Oracle Vision, and they know it's happening, but I don't think they can get anywhere near it. Jeff is trying to do what he can, but it's just not going to be possible. Baskin, even with the early Magai's Cloak Rush, as if the Najah pick alone wasn't bad enough. Baskin having to limit his damage output even further by rushing this defensive item so early when he's behind. It's rough stuff.
Gold Fury did go the way of Juggernauts pretty easily. Baskin in trouble on the right-hand side as Earth and Fury comes out from PBM. Supernova divides the team fight, gets pretty good damage in the Funballer, and the rest of the team has got to retreat. But JeffHindla's going to find that harder than most. Hurriwind with an auto attack puts him down. Baskin runs away to the right-hand side, but I think Juggernaut were coming this way anyway. Be careful, Baskin. He barely makes it out on the bottom side, and Fire Giant looking mighty tasty if you're wearing blue.
I don't think there's any feasible chance of Baskin stealing this, but I will respect them for trying.
Juggernauts came in, not able to steal it away, even with that watery grave. Zyrhoes falls to Scream. Windfire Wheels still available to take Benji up into the air. He comes crashing back down into the walls, and Variety will grab his second kill of the game. Pyromancer, because why not? At this point, Juggernauts can get whatever they want. 17.5 minutes in. This gold lead is just about at 10,000. Experience is at 8,000, and Titans have not had an answer all game long.
The Titans weren't feeling gas before, Finch. They are just barely clinging onto life now.
Yeah.
All of their structures pretty much removed from the map outside of 2 towers left standing there. And scratch that, we're gonna make that 1 tower because only the mid T2 is still left standing. Juggernauts just backing now to spend up all that gold that they've recently acquired, and there is plenty of it. Just looking at the itemization choices alone, Juggernauts have so much more leisure in terms of their build flexibility in comparison to Titans.
At this point, they've done a good job of itemizing in sort of hybrid style as well. I mean, we see the wing blades, the Magai's cloaks coming out, trying to get them away from the slows to make sure they're able to soak up a little bit more damage and rely on some of the base damage they're getting just from their levels. Then just look at it, Scream 4 levels out in front of Baskin. Actually a little bit behind as Hurriwind and PolarBearMike out in front. Zyrhoes on his way back to base. Unfortunately, as PolarBearMike and Variety catch him out, a little bit of laughter there in the player cams as the Juggernauts in great position to try and take this whole tournament right here, right now.
Hurriwind looking to try and chase down Baskin, or at least prevent him from getting back into his team. Astral Barrage not even necessary to find the last hit kill, and Hurriwind realizing that he should just go join up with his team again because Baskin's going to make it back to base. Chasing down a Serqet as Soul, you're typically not going to catch him.
No, it's not going to be easy for that to happen at all, Taco, as Juggernauts now looking for the mid Phoenix. There's 3 members up from Titans to try and make this defense happen. Remember, they stalled for quite a while inside their base last game, but can they replicate that here? Mid Phoenix does come down. Left Phoenix is falling just to Scream as Benji gets pulled back in and controlled. He does have those thorns ticking. He is in the watery grave, and he will be able to dash away at least for now, but Scream is not leaving his mission. Left Phoenix is his.
Left Phoenix is all that he wanted to acquire. Now looking for the sash onto Baskin. Scratch that, Baskin's gonna be able to blink away.
Okay.
Manages to blink because the sash doesn't apply damage upon landing it. It's the, once you catch up, you have a brief window to use that. Just a fun little interaction.
Yeah, fortunately, Baskin able to make it out of that one and make it back to base. Wishing that maybe a little bit more could be going his way this game as Juggernauts, it seems to be all them. Benji gets plucked back in, and Arkkyl right there with the auto attacks to shred him down. JeffHindla has to jump out as well, but can't jump away from the sash. Arkkyl finds a double and puts him down as well. They're gonna fall back towards the Phoenix on the right-hand side. Going in aggressively is Funball, but he has to almost immediately Aegis as Baskin falls too. Funballer will join him shortly. Zyrhoes just wants to come join the party. That's a deicide. That's gonna do it. Juggernauts gonna be your eUnited Invitational champions with the 3-0 reverse sweep.
Well played by the Juggernauts. So pulled that Titan a little bit too far into the fountain room area there. Started to get a nice little heal going for that Titan, but it won't change the outcome. In the end, it's going to be Juggernauts who topple Titans, going all 5 matches in this build.
And of course, PolarBearMike would say, you know, calculated. I knew I could take the boys this far, just had to lead them. But he certainly did a great job from the draft on Thursday, where he picks Screammmmm from the eUnited members who are going to take in the first round, grabs Dig for the duo lane in solo, or rather for the outside lanes for solo and duo, has Hurriwind he was able to grab at the last pick too. I mean, he's in a great position, did a great job with these players, and they all look really strong.
Just overall, it was all in good fun. I think that's the best way to put it. And even Juggernauts there at the end, willing to put Titans out of their misery fairly quickly. They didn't choose to stick around toying with their food.
And it's tough too, because Titans really started off this set looking strong, right? They came out with the 2-0. Benji in both those games looked unstoppable. He had great rotations early on. They were able to maintain the game even for so long. But from game 3 on, Titans look like a different team almost.
Playing against Chernobog and Freya just does things to a player's
to
mentality.
Your mental state.
And I think that's what ended up happening. Was it was just so overwhelming dealing with that Freya Chernobog combination that happened there in game 3 that it all kind of just fell apart for the rest of the set.
It really did, and Screammmmm continued to play well, I would say, for my money, especially there in Game 5. He really was the catalyst on that Naja from minute 1 to really get things going, but unfortunately, it's not really my money they're collecting. They want to know about you all there in Mixer Chat. Who do you all think was the MVP in that game? Go ahead and vote for us in the poll now, and we'll get that up on the screen for you. Taco, I mean, what about you? Who kind of stood out for you in this set?
There were a few players. I mean, overall, I think that Screammmmm probably had the best performances consistently throughout every single one of these matches.
I think that's definitely fair to say. Excellent play from him. And again, congratulations over to Juggernauts for taking this event and doing so with that 3-0 reverse sweep. We'll get it back over to the desk, though. They'll have some more thoughts on that set and help close it out a bit.
Thanks a lot, John Finch. Tom, Agro, Toli here on the desk. By the way, I'm using Finch's pen.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, man. Fantastic stuff coming out there. The Juggernauts on top. You all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, Juggernauts on top. They win. Congrats.
The reverse sweep, man.
That was impressive.
That is impressive, honestly.
I mean, coming into this one, we were sitting here saying, all right, 3-0, maybe a 3-1. We got all 5 games, which was exciting. We got to see everybody really turn up and do their thing. Baskin played well. And, you know, this is the conversation that I've heard a couple of people saying already, that Baskin played well, but the other people just looked better because it's their natural position. I think Screammmmm has this performance. By the way, he's MVP. Hooray. I think Screammmmm has this performance against literally any jungler.
I agree. I think
probably.
I think that Screammmmm specifically has...
Oh, look at that, man.
He's also played a lot with Baskin, so he knows his tendencies, whether or not he's in his traditional mid position of a playmaking mentality, and he knows how to counter that. And when you give him Naja after the buffs, you're just asking for a bad time.
This character's so much fun to watch. Very dynamic here. Sobek gets the kill after that one, but just so dynamic. So many different moves. We saw earlier the sash onto Fafnir and the ult onto a different target. One of my favorites. Like Screammmmm, Naja, just a match made in heaven. We're coming out really well.
That's what I mean. Like. Yes, he probably has a performance somewhat similar to this against another jungler of an SPL caliber, but if Baskin isn't in every right spot every time, then Screamm's gonna get huge because he's Naja and he, you know, ring toss is here, ring toss is there, he's level 7. Like that's how it works. So I think that this is a possibility where will Screammm do well? Yes. Would he have been that fed that early? Probably not, but Baskin's not a jungler. He's a mid laner, so you can't really hold it against him.
I'm not holding it against him. I think Baskin certainly did his part. I think he played the role, and you know, at the end of the day, don't forget, eUnited looked fantastic during the summer LAN.
Yep.
Right. So no surprise that the team that wins the eUnited Invitational has 2 members of eUnited on it. I think that's also something worth noting. PolarBearMike combining with his jungler here take the victory overall. Every other team only one eUnited member. Right.
True.
And it was actually the fans at home thinking that it was going to be Jeff's team, the Titans, that were going to bring it home. They had Baskin, they had Zyrhoes specifically, 2 of the best players in the world. But I don't know, man. All the idiots that PBM chose were the correct idiots.
I guess so, man. I mean, even with Hurriwind getting on there, Hurriwind played very well. So for basically this entire day, and a couple games he'd probably like to forget, but overall, I think Hurry played very, very well and got to play Giannis a couple times, which is something that he doesn't usually get to do in the SPL. So it's always banned from him, so I'm sure he's happy with that.
Arkkyl, a nice guy.
Yes, Tom.
Nice
Arkkyl
guy.
is a nice guy.
Nice guy, Arkkyl.
Yep. Helped his team win. Good stuff. Always like to see these guys come through. What? Aggro, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
Oh, no, I mean...
You were in the part of a really hard-hitting analysis point, so I didn't want to get in your way.
We were waiting for the remainder of it.
Well, I mean, basically, a little bit of insight into the whole commentary thing. What you want to do is you want to plant seeds and then go all the way back to them, usually later. So on the draft show, I actually brought up that piece of analysis, and then here in the conclusion, I bring it back full circle. That's enough out of us, the analysts. Let's talk to the players themselves.
I'm here with Juggernaughts. That's the team captain PolarBearMike actually drafted here today. Oh, went out. How do you all feel about, you were down 0-2 initially, having a tough time there. What was it like in the comms? What was the mentality like? How'd you all regroup? I mean, PolarBearMike, I guess I'll go to you first on that. How'd you corral everybody together and regroup to go forward through the rest of the set?
Well, the first two games pretty much completely blame Hurriwind because he got Janus and just didn't carry. So we were promised kind of like false wins on that one. And then the rest of the games, I mean, we felt like we were kind of just throwing a little bit. Harry kind of into that speed in game 2, and then I think we just made some mistakes. And I felt like the other games we were all playing well.
Well, I think your team captain's already said quite a lot about things, Hurriwind. But you went from last pick to now first place of this event, so that's got to be a roller coaster of emotions, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the biggest roller coaster of emotions is that I picked Janus twice. I said that if you ever give it to me, you're going to lose, and those are the only games I lost. So it's just the tough reality. I mean, we won, but did I really win? I lost my one-trick status, so...
Well, Variety, I want to ask you, because I really feel like the big difference between like those first 2 games and the last 3 was that Benji was like a non-factor, I feel like, in those last 3 games. And in games 1 and 2, he kind of was the reason they were able to win. What kind of adjustments do you feel like you made in particular were you able to start kind of putting into him in lane and make him less of a factor?
I played Sobek.
Croc main, dude. Yeah.
Sometimes it's as simple as that. But I also thought it was really interesting what you guys were doing in duo lane, because for the first couple of games, again, it was just all Titans pretty much in duo. And so what was the mindset heading into game 3 and onwards? Because we saw non-stop purple buff invades, or at least, Mike, you specifically constantly looking for wrath.
I think the first couple games we got like level 2 or level 3 ganked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got like 3v2'd the first 3 games. I actually think game 3 they did as well, but I think we got their beads and ended up first blooding them off of that. And then Kenny and I just had enough pressure to kind of just run at their purple.
And Scream, I got to ask you, man. I mean, going up against Baskin, obviously best player in the world uncontested in the jungle. I mean, how were you able to sort of keep even with him? Because it feels like similarly from game 3 on, he was struggling a lot as well. Talk to me about what you did in the jungle to try and come out on top.
Well, I mean, Baskin can play like brain dead gods like Ravana, right? Like Ravana is really easy to play, and we were like, yeah, like let's just not give him Ravana. I don't really care if he's playing Serqet or Neja or something. And then I decided just to pick like a few of my comfort gods, like one of them being Susano, into like the Neja, and it kind of gave him some trouble after he first blooded him.
And also, Scream, as the jungler, and Hurriwind was even talking about this right before we went live with the interview. When you say, I finally got mid lane pressure, what do you mean by that exactly? Because I didn't really think that they were going super ham on you in the mid game, at least for the early parts. So where did you feel like you were getting stressed at?
Well, I'll say mid lane pressure when I'm saying that is important because since it's in the middle of the map, obviously it gives you a lot of avenues to make plays everywhere. And it's not necessarily that there's kill pressure on me, but I have to give them a lot of respect and play behind the wave and let them clear first. And that gives them the advantage in like pushing into our buffs constantly. And I think that like when you fix that problem or you do it really well, that it's hard for the other team to react because they always have a wave to clear before they come.
All right, again, congratulations here to Team Juggernaut. An excellent, really one day of competition that you all were able to do since it was just all here on Sunday. Again, that's Scream Variety, Hurriwind, Arkkyl, and PBN, the captain who drafted everyone together. Congratulations one more time, and hopefully we'll see y'all at the next All-Star event.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Nice job there coming out from the victors. PolarBearMike and everybody splitting the spoils. You saw 5 trophies, so they all get to take one home. Really exciting. Good stuff for them. I think everybody, in all seriousness, played well. Hurriwind had his moments. I'm glad we got to laugh alongside the Janice comment, but everything else really looked good for this team throughout the whole tournament. I mean, they played a match earlier to get to the finals and then certainly looked good there.
And in the bracket specifically, Juggernauts struggled a little bit against the Minotaurs, going back and forth with them, but Titans looked very strong, and it surprised me the fact that they took their 2-0 lead from the Manticores and didn't find the sweep after winning the first 2 games.
Well, you said, Aggro said that, the Juggernauts might be hot because they had played a couple more games or just one more game, right? Was that a part of it, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think the Titans just came in. They came in pretty hot after 2-0ing the Manticores and then just kind of ran into the brick wall, which is playing your own roles.
Yeah? You really think it was that big of a deal?
I do. I think that Scream was just dominant from games 3 to 5 and was the biggest part of the victory. I mean, Variety also turned it around after having a really rough first 2 games. I think the right side of the map is really what
I think that if Baskin really wanted to, he could have played Hobwa jungle, he could have played maybe Poseidon jungle, he could have experimented with a Giannis jungle. Like, he could have still played a mage in the jungle if he really wanted to.
Poseidon jungle is really good.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. How do you feel about Poseidon jungle, Aggro?
Don't think it's good at all.
I think it's fantastic.
I'm sure you think that it's good.
It is good. In fact, as you level your Kraken, you knock players up higher.
I did learn that today.
We did learn that today. So the more you know, honestly. Those are really cool interactions. But I do like Poseidon in the jungle. So does Tolly.
Yeah. Tolly also likes Soul Solo.
Yeah.
So...
Boom.
No. That's you and yourself.
Because I know I'm not going to get one from either of you.
No thank you on the
chance.
Soul Solo. But thank you for everybody for showing up. Great tournament here. Lucky to see everybody. Smite Pro actually just tweeted out that, awesome to see Funball kind of frag out. He retweeted Slaney, who was the CLG coach, saying, like, cool to see Funball do his thing again. People forget, and I mentioned this way earlier, I think yesterday, people forget that, look, even Funball and fails on SK Gaming, 0 wins. I'm going to make all the jokes in the world about their team. But individually, these guys still bring the pain.
They definitely do. I mean, to be in a 6-team league, you have to be really good at the game. And everyone here obviously fits that bill. And basically everyone in the SPL fits that bill right now. So it's no surprise to me that Funball fails and everybody had a pretty good performance overall.
Yeah, individual performance kind of rose to the top here. But for HRX, it's all about the team play. If you can get there with a team, that's a different story. But you can certainly go alone. hi-rezexpo.com. You can buy 1 ticket. You can also buy a few if you are bringing a team.
November 16th
either. I mean, you can hang out with us.
Well, that's the
sometimes.
That's the real key there is that, and I think that was a concern for people seeing the move to DreamHack was that, look, I know a lot of people that have in my stream chat that have been like, look, F-Dot, I don't know nobody that plays Smite. Should I really come? And I say, hell yeah. And I'm thinking of 3 specific people that have come over the past 2 years that were a little trepidatious about coming because they were alone. And I was like, look, everybody hangs out at the same spot. You're watching the games, and you're just going to turn to your right and be like, yo, you see that Baskin play? And somebody's going to be like, yeah. And now you've got somebody to hang out with. All 3 of them came through and were like, dude, one of the best decisions I made. So glad to have come. hi-rezexpo.com. Get your tickets as well, whether you got a group or not. Certainly a lot of fun.
Absolutely worth it. It's the best trip. I mean, I drove down with my friends to come to launch tournament way back in the day, and that was like the best time I ever had as a Smite fan. It's super worth it. Buy your tickets.
The energy is just like that. You feed off of the crowd, honestly, whether you're a fan, whether you're casting, the players feed off of the energy too. So I'm really excited for it. November 16th through the 18th.
Absolutely. Now on the 18th afterwards, that's where I'm going to be. $50 gets you into the after party. hi-rez afterparty.eventbrite.com.
Can you sing that website to me one more time?
Was that supposed to be a jingle?
No, it's just me saying HRX after party.
I didn't hear it.
Eventbrite.com.
I didn't hear it originally.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Hi-char? Is that what you said?
So I'm pronouncing it, and I'm pronouncing it like Hindu man says it. He says HR.
He does say HRH.
HRX. So
it's like Hachiman, so it's like H.
It's like
Hach.
It's like Rachel, but with an H.
It's
at the
not like Hachiman.
I mean, a little bit.
At all.
A little bit.
Like it's like a Hachiman
like
where, like H. Like
hey, you know what else has an H in it?
What?
A peach.
Peach it, please.
Peach it.
Thanks for watching.